U.S. congressional UAP hearings are facing massive delays. Canada just quietly released their long awaited UFO report after a year of delays. And the revelations emerging from both investigations suggest something far more explosive than either government wants to admit. Congressman Eric Burlison has been investigating the UAP phenomena and government cover ups, but he's discovering that getting witnesses to come forward is nearly impossible. Meanwhile, Canada's Sky Project, promised as the most comprehensive UAP study in decades, was finally released just a few days ago after repeated delays, and what they revealed is shocking in ways that it really shouldn't be. Hey ufologers, I'm Cristina Gomez, and welcome to this episode of UFO News Updates. Some disturbing revelations are coming from Burlison's private conversations with intelligent insiders, including discussions of 4 distinct alien races and evidence that the military may be conducting psychological operations on its own personnel. He recently spoke to Joe Khalil and mentioned something that a lot of people don't actually consider.
Is it challenging to get the first-hand witnesses because a lot of them are just nervous about coming forward? I mean, is that your biggest hurdle?
Yes. I mean, it doesn't benefit their life in any way. I mean, if anything, their life gets totally disrupted. I mean, look at David Grush. Like, he lost all of his benefits, all of it, like his pension, his medical benefits. There's a huge sacrifice that these people have to make before they come forward.
And this isn't just bureaucratic friction, it's systematic intimidation. But Burlison has uncovered something even more disturbing. He's investigating whether the military is conducting psychological operations on its own personnel, essentially creating fake UAP incidents to deceive their own troops. When discussing a Wall Street Journal piece suggesting that some UAP encounters might be elaborate military pranks, Burlison pushes back, stating this.
You can't tell me that there's a widespread hazing activity within the Air Force, that it's like pervasive.
The implications are staggering. Either UAP encounters are real, or the military is systematically deceiving its own people.
I just think that, if anything, what they just admitted is that the federal government's, that they are absolutely lying and deceiving the American people. Yeah.
While the U.S. investigation faces witness intimidation, Canada took a different approach, and they simply stalled for over a year before quietly releasing their UFO report just a few days ago. And the Sky Canada project, launched in fall of 2022, was supposed to be the most comprehensive government UAP study since 1995, at least for Canada. If you enjoy UFO news, updates, case studies, and interviews, then I think you will like this channel. Hit that like button, subscribe, and share this episode with those you want to keep in the know with the latest UFO news. Originally promised for fall of 2024, then pushed to April of 2025, and then it said the summer of 2025, and then we just mysteriously got it. And the report was released, finally, with minimal fanfare. After two and a half years of investigation, gathering information from federal departments, agencies, stockholders, and even international partners like Aero in the United States, Japan, and France, the public got essentially a bureaucratic manual on how Canada might investigate UAPs in the future. Now, does that make any sense to you? And the report explicitly states its goal is neither to collect evidence and first-hand data on UAPs or essentially to prove or disprove the existence of ET life. Instead, it focuses on procedural recommendations, how to create reporting systems, reduce stigma, and coordinate between departments. Canadian scientist expert Dan Riskin speaks to CTV about the report, identified the core problem was this.
I know it sounds nerdy, but a big part of this is trust, right? Everybody's always believed that the government's hiding the fact that aliens have been here and living among us. And you know, every time there's secrecy or or any kind of friction in the relaying of what you see and telling the government about it, and then the government being transparent about what they've been told. It just feels like a cover-up, and so it negates the trust and just makes people more curious.
27% of Canadians have witnessed UAPs, but only 10 reported their sightings, and 40 wouldn't even know who to contact. Between 60 and 1,000 UAP sightings are reported annually in Canada, but they're scattered across departments with zero coordination. The United States had something very similar just a few years ago, and then that was the creation of the UAPTF, the AOI MSG, and ARROW as well. So Canada is falling a little bit behind on this, but I must mention that I'm incredibly disappointed that they had over 2 years to write a comprehensive report, and they gave us truly absolutely nothing. Now, here's where Burlison's investigation also gets interesting. In private conversations with Eric Davis, who is a longtime intelligence community researcher who has worked for the Pentagon and the CIA, he and his team are researching what they described as crashed material. And according to Burlison on the Tim Pool show, Davis told Eric that 4 alien species that the government knows of, especially the Greys, the Nordics, the insectoids, and the reptilians, that are commonly referred to in the UFO community.
4 different alien species that he knows of?
Yeah, that was not what I expected him to say. But yeah, he said.
So who is this guy?
This is Eric Davis. Has been involved in the intelligence community since the 80s, right? So he's
for a long time.
For a long time, and he first worked for Bigelow Aerospace, and then he went on to get work for the Pentagon, and then CIA, and basically researching what they describe as crashed material, retrieved crashed material.
And he was saying definitively, they know of 4 alien species. Like, he's saying they're real.
Right. Now, whenever I pressed him and asked him, at least in that setting, he did not say that he personally has seen these, right? But he described the 4 different types of aliens, the Greys, the Nordics, the insectoids, and the reptilians that are commonly referred to in the UFO community. They would not just blend into the population.
No.
And that's at least, and I'm not saying I believe it. I'm just saying that's what I've been told.
The fact that a researcher with Pentagon and CIA credentials is discussing multiple alien species with congressional investigators raises obvious questions about what both the U.S. and Canadian governments actually know. These revelations help explain the institutional resistance both countries face.
They don't say it is because, just put it this way, how would you feel if you woke up and realized you were in a rat cage your whole life? And everything you knew was just some stupid rat experiment for somebody, Like when we look at rats in a cage in a lab, we pity them. What if everything you've ever done in your life, everything you hoped for, your dreams, you woke up tomorrow and you knew was completely meaningless? The research you've done, the religion you held, everything was just totally nonsense.
So that you're living in a simulation.
The philosophical implications are also worth mentioning. If multiple non-human intelligences are interacting with Earth, it would fundamentally challenge every assumption about humanity's place in the universe. Burlison is now looking into whether federal laws were violated in government deception campaigns.
And when you guys go and have your next hearing, do you think focused on some of this?
Yeah, I'm going to be looking into seeing were there any laws violated in some of this deception?
Yeah.
In these efforts, because you can't the story of the individual who went to a bar and handed photos or whatever it was. How is that not illegal?
Yeah. Deceive.
So I'll look into it.
Yeah.
If the military is conducting psychological operations on its own troops using fake UAP incidents, it represents a systematic abuse of power. If the incidents are real but have been covered up through disinformation campaigns, it represents a different kind of deception. Meanwhile, Canada's approach of Creating civilian oversight under the Canadian Space Agency could represent genuine progress if they actually implement their recommendations. As Dan Riskin noted on CTV, he said this.
The other thing is we have the opportunity here to be a leader in the world. There's no country that has a good system in place for this. And so it wasn't like, oh, just do what Chile does because they've got it figured out. Chile does not have it figured out, nor does the US, nor does Russia, nor does Morocco. I mean, nobody's got this. And so if Canada can really do this right, this is a great opportunity to lead in science, which is something Canada has been handed in the last year because of the sort of collapse of science to our neighbors to the south. We have an opportunity here for Canada to step up and really be a leader in this space.
But the question remains. Why release protocol recommendations instead of the actual findings from 2.5 years of investigation? Where are the historical cases, the international consultations, the compelling evidence that surely emerged during their research? Burlison acknowledges that the UAP disclosure environment has fundamentally changed. We're in a new space now. The old approach to complete denial is no longer viable. We had whistleblowers come forward like David Grush, and they had forced the conversation into the public arena. They forced the conversation. Then you have guys like Congressman Burlison and his colleagues who are fighting for disclosure on the front lines. But this new environment comes with a cost. Witnesses face career destruction, researchers operate under classification restrictions, and government release sanitized reports that raise obviously so many more questions than answers. Burlison now has David Grush working as an advisor, bringing insider knowledge directly into congressional investigations, but the most sensitive discussions are still happening in classified settings. The next step is going to get people from Arrow and some other people from the Department of the DoD in a skiff, Burlison explains. Even Canada's supposedly transparent approach maintains significant limitations. The report acknowledges the need for open data and citizen science participation, but provides no actual data or citizen access to the findings from their 2-year investigation. That is it for today. I will see you next time. Be safe, and remember, keep your eyes on the skies.
If you enjoy the strange and the mysterious, UFOs, the paranormal, and cryptids, this channel is for you. So make sure to subscribe as I do 3 videos right here every single week, and hit that notification bell so you do not miss any of the bonus content I post right here.